End of Z Goku versus Thragg? It seems like every time a new season of Invincible comes out, people once again begin comparing characters of the show or comics to Dragon Ball. And even though he hasn't appeared in Season 3, the character getting the most hype right now is the strongest Viltrumite and the final boss of the Invincible comic, Thragg. And yeah, I get why he has a lot of hype. The dude is not only a top tier aura farmer, but in the Invincible verse, he's pretty much Thanos. When he pulls up to a fight, it really doesn't matter how many dudes you have. He's probably bullying you with low difficulty. I mean, in most fights, he legit just casually rips apart his opponents like they're made of paper. But that doesn't change the fact that he is a big fish in a small pond, and the Invincible universe needs to stop being compared to the Dragon Ball verse, including just Dragon Ball Z. So let's just go over why Thragg cannot hang with End of Z Goku, as well as most of the other decently strong Dragon Ball Z characters. If you like this kind of stuff, make sure to like, subscribe, and let's jump right in. Now, when it comes to scaling Thragg, he's very similar to characters like Gojo or Homelander, where he doesn't necessarily need to have the most impressive attack potency feats in the story himself, but just effortlessly demolishes pretty much every other strong character, so he naturally scales over all the best feats in the story. In this video, we're going to wank some of these feats like crazy to get Thragg as strong as possible, to show why he can't do anything to Dragon Ball characters. Just to be clear for people who aren't familiar with Thragg scaling, in the Invincible comics, pretty much the only characters who scale close to him at all are Battle Beast and Mark. And even then, he won against Battle Beast, and Mark only defeated him because Robot gave him some heat protection in the sun at the very end of their fight. Everyone else who is considered strong, like Alan the Alien, Conquest, Omni-Man, or literally any other Viltrumite for that matter, are likely getting low diffed or just one shot by Thragg. He's simply that much stronger than everyone else. Now, one-shotting Viltrumites can act as a good baseline for his power, as it's pretty consistent throughout the story that it doesn't take that many Viltrumites to destroy planets. Thragg himself says that less than 37 Viltrumites is more than enough to tear planets like Earth in half. While the details are somewhat vague on what he exactly meant by this, assuming each Viltrumite does the same proportion of work, depending how fast and far apart the tear is, it could make them moon level to small planet level in power. This is pretty consistent with characters like Omni-Man resisting moon level gravitational force from a black hole and moving Texas-sized meteors. However, this is the strength of an average Viltrumite, which Thragg is obviously not. Even Omni-Man, when locked in, can clearly one-shot some Viltrumite warriors, so we can look to more impressive feats like the main planet-busting attack in Invincible. Omni-Man, Invincible, and Thaddeus, plus Space Racer's gun, completely destroying planet Viltrum. Now, there are a lot of ways to scale this, but we'll just take the most simple high-end interpretation without any scrutiny. Space Racer's gun wasn't able to destroy planet Viltrum by itself, even though this gun can destroy stars. In other words, Viltrum has better durability than a star, and yet 3 Viltrumites could cause it to completely explode once destabilized. Assuming this to be true, then each Viltrumite, Omni-Man, Thaddeus, and Mark would individually be solar system level in power. Despite this, Thragg would one-shot Thaddeus immediately after, and one-shot Nolan later in the story, with only a stronger version of Invincible being able to hold his own. So Thragg can one-shot solar system busters, sure. But let's go further. This is Omnipotus, a random villain who shows up 2 times in the story of Invincible. His databook entry says that he destroyed his own universe with his power, but he literally got one shot by a single bite from Dinosaurus. This same Dinosaurus has an encounter with Thragg and tries to bite him in the exact same way, only to literally break all of his teeth and get bodied. I'm definitely not leaving out any information like Omnipotus needing to gather energy to actually destroy the universe over time or anything like that. This definitely means that Thragg at bare minimum has universe level durability and attack potency. Of course, you're also probably familiar with the speed scaling of Invincible, as so many characters fly across solar systems, galaxies, and the whole universe in a matter of days, hours, or minutes, making them really beyond the speed of light. And again, Thragg is the top dog, so any speed feat automatically becomes his speed feat as well. With all that being said, truly, how does he stack up against Dragon Ball? Firstly, to give credit where it is due, he pretty easily solos original Dragon Ball. The moon level feats and scaling of the higher tiers like Goku, Piccolo, and Roshi are pretty much exactly comparable to the strength of the average Viltrumite, while also being substantially slower. So even equalizing speed, Thragg would feel right at home tearing through the warriors of Earth like paper. The same trend would continue through the beginning of Dragon Ball Z if you take the quote-unquote incredibly valid solar system level scaling of Omni-man and Invincible. Without any anime feats, Thragg is tearing through the Saiyan Saga, Namek Saga, and all of the Cell Saga with relative ease, as even Super Perfect Cell is only a solar system buster. Now, while Cell obviously has a lot more abilities than Thragg, we see that a big power difference in both series can really overcome any kind of nuanced ability. Still, skip 7 years ahead to the Buu Saga, and suddenly Thragg is having a lot of problems. One of the first things that Fat Buu does is effortlessly defeat Dabura, a guy with the exact same power level as Cell, meaning at the lowest low ball of Fat Buu's power, he's essentially in the same tier as Thragg, while being effectively immortal and having far more hacks abilities. This though, ignores that both Majin Vegeta and Goku in Super Saiyan 2 were also already leagues above Cell, having surpassed Gohan at the pinnacle of his power, who could literally erase the perfect life form from existence. Even if you want to say Thragg is equally strong as, say, Majin Vegeta or Fat Buu, he has far less hacks or combat skill than anyone there. The only advantage he has is probably stamina, and that's about it. Plus, all of this was only using the manga scale. The anime gives better feats like far larger explosions for planets that can even get Namek Saga characters to solar system level, and the gaps of strength are even larger, with even base Goku in the Buu Saga being capable of one-shotting Cell, who would be well beyond solar system level in that continuity. Also, keep in mind for both of these scenarios, Goku has Super Saiyan 3 and more power-ups on top of all of this. The only way to get Thragg to even stand a chance is reading that databook for Omnipotus with your eyes closed and pretend it means he can one-shot a universe with a single attack at a time, which just isn't true. Still, if you're gonna give that level of ghostwriting to Thragg scaling or the scaling of the Invincible verse, applying that same leniency to Dragon Ball makes them stop even harder. Universal Frieza, Universal Cell, Universal Boos, and beyond. Either way, Thragg is getting cooked. Plus, looking back at the tweet that inspired this video, it asks about End of Z Goku, which would be Goku with all of the events of Super in his history as well. And I don't think I need to explain why a multiversal Goku, along with all the other characters in Super, would sneeze away a guy who's solar system to universal at best. If you want my honest opinion, something I've shared on a couple Invincible videos at this point, I think the high tiers of Invincible at best fall between the Saiyan and Namek Saga in power, and that's about it. Unironically, I think the human characters like Krillin or Tien are about on the level of the peak Invincible verse, as funny as a comparison as that is to make, but even then, I think techniques like the Tri-Beam would put them over and instantly obliterate Thragg or anyone else for that matter. So yeah, compared to the Dragon Ball universe, Thragg is very, very vincible. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. As always, thank you to my members for supporting the channel. If you disagree with my takes, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.